Hey, what's up, everybody? I want to welcome you to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Daily Recap, where we give you a recap of all of the hot topics that we covered that day. You can catch them in their long format and also catch it fully streaming for free on Apple Podcasts. So, yesterday was a very interesting night, wasn't it? In that game, the Lakers, shout out to the Lakers, had a very good victory over the Milwaukee Bucks, where they beat them 119 to 95. In that game, DeAndre Ayton had a double-double. I'm not getting excited. Let him be more consistent. But nevertheless, he had 20 and 10 on 70% shooting from the floor, 69%. Austin Reaves scored 25 points on 53% shooting from the field, 56% shooting from the three, while getting you 8 assists and 6 rebounds. Luka Doncic, well, he did Luka things, 41 points, 6 assists, 9 rebounds on 47% shooting from the floor, 45% shooting from the three. Dalton Connect chipped in with 9 points. Jackson Hayes played some solid minutes, 16 minutes. He chipped in 10 points. And Maxi Kleber, good to see him out there. I think he could be a great piece for the Lakers. They got him in that Dallas trade. I think he could be a great piece to what they're doing. And he chipped in 3 points, but obviously he's still working himself back into the lineup, although he had some good minutes out there, right? And of course, Bronny did what Bronny normally does, 0 points. But anyway, so at the end of the game, there were some comments that were going extremely viral. By who? By none other than Austin Reaves. And it was all over the internet. Various accounts were posting about it, House of Highlights, Bleacher Report, all of them. But I'm just going to show you the one from the score. So I want to quickly put up the thumbnail. And it says, how about Bronny James starting in the NBA and LeBron assigned to the G League? That's fun. So for those of you who didn't hear the comments of what Austin Reaves had to say, I want to play it for you now. And then we're going to come back and continue on the show. Take a listen to what Austin Reaves had to say here.
How about Bronny James starting in the NBA and LeBron's assigned to the G League? That's fun. That's awesome.
Take a shot?
Yeah. I told him he should play a game. Still, I still believe it.
Excellent. So you heard what Austin Reaves had to say. Folks, this is a joke. In fact, this is bigger than a joke. It's a clown show. It's one big clown show. We are now at the point in time where we have players like Austin Reaves cracking jokes about LeBron James being sent to the G League and Bronny James starting. And do you want to know the saddest part about this all? Is that he knows this is a joke. Austin Reaves knows that this thing is one big joke, as I do believe all of his teammates, as I do believe the entire NBA does. Not really the LeBron thing going to the G League, but Bronny, more importantly. They know this. They know that this is just one big clown show. And now you're at the point where you have Austin Reaves clowning LeBron James. This is what happens when you stay too long. Do you know what happens? Let me tell you what happens. When you're an older guy that constantly is hanging around young boys, one thing usually happens, which is over time, they stop having respect for you. Do you know why? Because you brought yourself down to their level. That's what's happened. So now LeBron, who's a 40-year-old guy, 41, I believe, 40, 41, he's now hanging around his teammates. These guys in their 20s. And they're all looking at him like the old man in the locker room. But now the old man has turned himself into a young boy playing with these guys. And then now they feel comfortable to make these kind of jokes. This is what's happening. Austin Reaves is cracking jokes about LeBron James going to the G League. Had LeBron just retired, he wouldn't have any of these issues. He wouldn't have players like this cracking jokes at his expense. And some people were laughing about it, but other people didn't find it funny. They didn't find it funny because they're like, this is what LeBron James has been reduced to? This is what he's been reduced to now being made fun of for going to the G League by his own teammates? You think they don't know? Come on, bro. These are human beings, bro. You think these people don't have phones? You think these people are not on Twitter? Like, bro, what are we talking about here? Of course they know. Of course they. You think Austin Reaves, when they heard the news that Bronny was starting, you think all of them look at it like, yo, what? Starting? For what? Why? They started Bronny. Now, maybe they were shorthanded. Let me go look at their roster. Marcus Smart didn't play. He was injured, right? But if we're truth being told, Nick Smith Jr. should have started over Bronny. He should have. Nick Smith Jr., you would have did better in the starting lineup had Nick Smith Jr. started over Bronny. And I get it. Marcus Smart was out. So they needed to make a quick adjustment. But even then, JJ Redick said, yeah, this is not going to work. Yeah, this is not going to work. So he modified his lineup. And that's the reason why you saw Maxi Kleber playing so many minutes and Dalton Connect playing so many minutes. Right? This is not going to work. Bronny played less than 10 minutes in that game. But now, LeBron has been reduced to, all the way down to Austin Reaves cracking jokes about Bronny James starting and LeBron James being sent to the G League. This is what we have reduced LeBron James down to a damn meme and a clown show. It's a damn bloody shame. LeBron deserves better than this, but since you want to stay and you want to stick around and you still want to be here, well, this is what's going to happen. They're now beginning to see you as one of them. Yes, this is what's happening. These guys are now beginning to believe, oh, all of you guys are mates, when in reality you're not. These guys are not LeBron James's mates. LeBron's mates are like the older guys in the NBA, the Currys, the KD. Those are your group. That's your group. That's your group. I don't know how old these other Lakers are, but I know he's the oldest one. He's 14 years older than Luka Doncic. That could be like his little brother. So it's just insane to me, bro, that this is what this thing has turned into. That Austin Reaves is over here cracking jokes about LeBron James, talking about LeBron got assigned to the G League. Not even that he's in the G, he got assigned to the G League. What? Not that he's in the G League, he got assigned to the G League. This is an embarrassment. LeBron James got assigned to the G. Do you understand how diabolical that sentence sounds? LeBron got assigned to the G League. This is absolutely disgraceful, man. It's just one big disgrace. Really, it is. I mean, it is. LeBron got assigned to the G, and he over there laughing. Wow. Now, we recently produced some shows on our channel. Actually, yeah, over the last 2 days, right? The first one had to do with, which is directly correlated to what Roland Martin is talking about here. But the first show we did was about Stephen A. Smith going off on the Democrats, right? He was basically ripping into them because he believes that they're the ones that are pushing to have these Epstein files released, and we did a show about that, which was a rebuttal to some of the things that he was saying. Then last night we produced another show, which Stephen A. Smith was reacting to the comments, to the grotesque comments that Megyn Kelly made on her show. And in the midst of that, he was calling her a wonderful person after she was basically trying to say, well, you know, there's a difference between a 15-year-old and a 5-year-old. I'm like, this is insanity, right? This is insanity. He couldn't even bring himself to the point where he would condemn her comments. He couldn't even do it, right? He couldn't even do it. So people were going off on him there. But to the first video that I just aforementioned, where he was criticizing the Democrats, he was essentially going off about how, you know, why is this coming out now all of a sudden? Why are the Democrats the one bringing this out and this? And he was just hollering and screaming and all that. And I've said this for quite some time, maybe for the people that are new to the channel, they may not know. I believe that Stephen A. Smith is a political grifter, 100%, right? 100%. He's just out here grifting and grifting. And the problem with that is he has such a huge megaphone. He has, I think his YouTube channel has 1.3 million subscribers. He's also known as Stephen A. Smith. So when he says things, various publications are going to report on it. Then he has a show on Sirius XM radio. So he has this huge megaphone that he just goes on and he just starts screaming and hollering about things that sometimes he is absolutely wrong about. I give you guys a quick example of this. Initially, when the Epstein case was picking up some steam, where it started to become an issue for the White House and the president, he basically went on, I believe it was Chris Cuomo's show. I don't remember the show. Maybe it was his own show, where he was essentially saying that the only people that are concerned with the Epstein case are people that have nothing else to do with their lives. Like, I just go about my life and I'm living my life, and it's not a big issue to me. Meanwhile, that's a father, and I'm a father too, of a daughter, and he has daughters too. So I'm sitting like, what are you talking about? It's only people that have nothing else to do. So you mean to tell me that all the people that are concerned about this issue are jobless people that have, like, what are you saying? And then he went a step further and saying, we don't even know that if these files exist. What? After Pam Bondi had already said they do exist, he's saying we don't even know if these files didn't exist. And I'm sitting there saying to myself, why is Stephen A. Smith propagating these kind of views? Like, why are you doing this, right? So in this particular issue, he was here trying to come to the defense of the president, forgetting and basically trying to make this point that, it's just, Democrats out to get the president, Democrats out to get to the president, forgetting that these files that are about to be voted on next week is a bipartisan effort, because there are also Republicans that want these files made public. He's not even touching on that aspect of it. So Roland Martin, who has roasted and toasted Stephen A. Smith over the last few weeks, he reacted to Stephen A. Smith's latest rant, where he was going at the Democrats. And I saw a clip from his show that was published about, let me say 24 hours ago, by the time you guys see this show. And the title of the show said, "What the hell? Stephen A. Smith's loud fact challenge rant gets annihilated by the truth." So I immediately clicked on it to hear what Roland Martin was saying in response to Stephen A. Smith. And let me tell you guys, he absolutely dismantled him. And dare I say, made him look like a political neophyte. Like, as if he shouldn't even have a microphone to talk about politics whatsoever. So what we want to do is we're going to play exactly what Roland Martin had to say in his rebuttal to Stephen A. Smith's comments, and then we're going to come back and continue on the show. Take a listen to Roland Martin here.
Okay. Stephen A. says, maybe I'm missing something. You are. Then he says he's an extraordinary producer, and maybe they could research it. Yeah. How about you do the damn research before you go on the air on an epic rant, Stephen A? Like, I don't understand why black people or other folks with shows don't know how to do research before they open their mouths. What you just heard is misinformation and disinformation. Do you know who corrected Stephen A? Somebody named Julie K. Brown. Julie K. Brown is a reporter for the Miami Herald. It has been the Miami Herald that has done amazing reporting on the Epstein case. We know about all the details of what's happened with Jeffrey Epstein, the previous deal being cut, the sweetheart jail deal he got because of Julie Brown and the reporters of the Miami Herald. This is what she tweeted. This is a complicated case with a quote, all caps, a lot of files. So I know it's easy to confuse what's what. What Stephen doesn't understand is that the emails released Wednesday are from Epstein's estate. They were obtained from Epstein's lawyers pursuant to a subpoena that was issued by the House Oversight Committee, lawmakers. These documents are separate from the criminal case files held by the DOJ and the FBI that Trump and Bondi, the Attorney General, promised to release after the election. As for why Biden and the Democrats didn't release the criminal case files, Maxwell, Ghislaine Maxwell, the associate of Jeffrey Epstein, Maxwell's criminal case was still open during the Biden administration. She wasn't convicted until late 2021, and then she appealed her conviction. Generally, it's not a good idea to open your evidence files when a criminal case is ongoing. We also don't know whether the FBI was still investigating other possible suspects who helped Epstein or participated in his crimes. If you are still targeting suspects, you don't want them to know you are zeroing in on them. This is what I keep trying to tell these people who are in media. When you have a mega microphone, you need to be judicious with how you use it. You need to be careful with what you say and how you say it, and you need to have your facts right. So when people are in listening to you, they're taking cues from you. And so all of a sudden, folks are going, oh my God, what the hell were Biden and the Democrats doing? They couldn't release them because they didn't have them. And so Stephen A. is broadcasting on Sirius XM radio all around the country. And people are taking his clip and they're reposting it on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok, on Snapchat, on Fanbase, on Spoutable, Spill, LinkedIn, everywhere. And he's wrong. And see, this is what I cannot stand. I cannot stand when a journalist or a media personality says, I'm just asking a question. I'm just giving my opinion. What the hell are you talking about? I get asking questions. So here's how it worked. Stephen A., you and your producing team, you book experts like a Julie Brown. And in fact, it would be smart for y'all to book her on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday or Friday. What you do is you ask the experts the question. You say, Julie, you're a reporter with the Miami Herald. You've been covering this story for years. Can you explain to me why these files were released now and not when Biden was president? That's how you ask a question. But Stephen A. didn't ask a question. Stephen A. asked a question and then gave his answer to the question, and but before doing so, admitting he didn't actually know the answer. Do y'all know how dangerous that is? That's the equivalent. That's the equivalent of going off on a player for not suiting up. And then you find out later, oh, he was injured. Did you check and call before you attacked the player for being injured? This is what I'm talking about, Michael, and I'm sick of this. I'm sick of people not dealing in facts, not checking first before they go off and say things that then get repeated. And as we know, the lie travels faster than the truth. This is just idiotic to literally say, I don't know. I could have my smart producer check, but let me just rip the folks anyway.
Excellent. So you heard what Roland had to say. Now I just want to quickly reiterate what Julie K. Brown wrote, because she was answering the question that Stephen A. Smith had been posing, and a lot of people that are in opposition to these files being released. Now, Julie K. Brown is a Miami Herald journalist whose investigation led to the arrest of Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. She's the author of Perversion of Justice. So that's what it says on her Twitter there. She has a pretty sizable following with over 237,000 followers on Twitter here. But I just want to quickly read what Roland Martin read, but I want to just reiterate it again. It says, this is a complicated case with a lot of files, so I know it's easy to confuse what's what. What Stephen A. Smith doesn't understand is that the emails released Wednesday are from the Epstein estate. They were obtained from Epstein's lawyers pursuant to a subpoena that was issued by the House Oversight Committee, lawmakers. These documents are separate from the criminal case files held by the DOJ and the FBI that Trump and Bronny promised to release after the election. She then addresses the part that a lot of people that Stephen A. Smith was shouting about. As for why Biden and the Democrats didn't release the criminal case files, Maxwell's criminal case was still open during the Biden administration. She wasn't convicted until late 2021, and then she appealed her conviction. Generally, it's not a good idea to open your evidence files when a criminal case is ongoing. We also didn't know whether the FBI was still investigating the other suspects who helped Epstein or participated in his crimes. If you're still targeting suspects, you don't want them to know you are zeroing in on them. And then Roland Martin pretty much explained everything. So you heard it here. Okay? You heard it here. Why didn't the Democrats go after her these files, to release these files under Biden's watch, right? And we're understanding that these were just emails that were subpoenaed by the government that were given out by his estate. It's something totally separate from what the FBI and the DOJ and these guys are holding on to, right? Stephen A. Smith doesn't know that. Now, here's a difference in someone like me not knowing that. I'm not Stephen A. Smith. We don't have a mega platform here. We have a decent sized platform, but we're not Stephen A. If I say something, it's not going to be quoted by various publications like the New York Times or the New York Post or whoever else. No, he is. That's number one. Number two, I'm not getting paid millions upon millions upon millions upon millions upon millions of dollars to espouse my views on these issues. Stephen A. Smith is. So when you have that type of microphone or that type of platform and you're earning those type of dollars, you need to ensure that you're doing your due diligence. And I don't blame it just on him. I blame it on his producers because they're the ones that are not giving him all the pertinent information. It seems like there's almost this rush to just go out there, cut on a mic and talk instead of ensuring that you're getting the facts right. And I said this before, and I'm going to reiterate this point again. In sports, you can kind of get away with not knowing your stuff, right? Because most sports fans are not really going to research this stuff. A lot of it is emotion-based. Now, politics is also emotion-based, but people do their due diligence. So when they find out that you don't know what the heck you're talking about, they're going to call you on it. In the case of Stephen A. Smith, it looks like he's doing a lot more harm than good because he's giving out a lot of misinformation. A lot of it. And the problem is he's very loud about it. He's very angry about it. He's making a lot of noise about it. He's making a lot of noise. Like the issue he had with Jasmine Crockett. He's over there, I don't like the way that she speaks. Why does she speak like? And then people are like, okay, fine, it's fine. If you don't like the way that Jasmine Crockett goes about doing her business and saying, that's fine. But call out the entire political environment. Call out the president. Call out some of his supporters like Laura Loomer and all these. He doesn't want to do that. But then wants to position himself as, I'm an independent. You're not. Stephen A. Smith is not an independent. I've never heard an independent criticize one side of the aisle as much as he does. I've never heard it. So now when you have your contemporaries like Roland Martin, calling you out, you know you got an issue. And mind you, Stephen A. Smith, Roland Martin has been on the Stephen A. Smith show. I don't know if Stephen A. Smith has been on Roland Martin. These guys know each other. But Roland is like, no, bro, look. The truth is more important than our friendship. And I can't correct you behind the scenes. I need to correct you publicly because you're making these errors publicly. And that's the reason he needed to call him out on it. So this is becoming problematic. It's becoming a serious problem. And it's not funny anymore. It really isn't funny anymore. I don't know why Stephen A. Smith is hell-bent on doing this. I don't know. And he just keeps missing the mark. He's over there defending Megyn Kelly. Are you absolutely... And you know the craziest part? There are people subscribed to our channel because I criticized her. They started unsubscribing. Yes. I never even knew that there are people that would be willing to defend Megyn Kelly after her disgusting comments about minors. They would feel more offended that I said that they unsubscribed. Yes, there are people are leaving comments like, really? People are, yes, they are. And to them I say, good riddance and piss off and don't ever come back. If you're offended and I'm calling her out for those disgusting comments that she made about minors and essentially trying to humanize Epstein, all in an attempt to defend the president, then you can piss off. I don't need your support. I don't need anyone that's out there sympathizing with pedophiles. I don't, with PDFs or whatever the hell you call. I don't need those people in my corner. I don't. There must be a line, and it seems like some people have a very difficult time drawing the line. That's why I was floored by Stephen A. Smith, not even chastised, not even saying, what do you mean? What are you saying? All this kind of thing. He was more concerned about preserving his relationship with her. Like that was the key issue here. Not addressing her comments and rebuking her comments. No. I want to preserve her public image and preserve my friendship with her. That's his only concern. I mean, this stuff is madness. But this political climate is showing us a lot about a lot of people and where they stand morally and ethically. It's showing us a lot about a lot of people. It really is. Yesterday, we did a live reacting to the news that came out about the Lakers being under investigation and certain players, certain members of the Lakers needing to give up their cell phones. And we were prepping for the game that was coming on between the Lakers and the Milwaukee Bucks. After I had finished the live, about 15 minutes before the game was slated to start, I get notifications all over my phone from Dave McMenamin that the Lakers are starting Bronny James. When we went live, it was only like a 10-minute live. People thought I was trolling. I'm like, this got to be a joke. This has to be a joke. People are like, it's a joke. I'm like, no, he's actually starting. He's actually starting. I'm like, and then during that live, I'm like, why is this happening? Why is this happening? Like, clearly, Bronny shouldn't even be on a team, let alone starting. So they say he was going to start. I'm like, this is a joke. So unfortunately, what ended up happening was I missed the beginning of the game. So I didn't see him start. So I thought it was a false story. I thought that Dave McMenamin told a lie, right? Only for me to keep watching the game towards the end, where they now checked him back in the game, I think with about 2 or 3 minutes left in the game. I don't remember the number, or a few minutes left in the game. It was only after the end of the game that I saw that he actually did start, and people started sending me posts all over the internet. And I went to go look at the box score to see what Bronny did with his being a starter. And what I saw was what exactly I expected to see. Okay, so I go to the box score to see what Bronny did with his starter minutes. Bronny, in 10 minutes, scored a grand total of 0 points. He did have 1 steal, 1 assist, 1 rebound, 0 of 2 from the 3. And I said to myself, this has to stop. This has to stop. I don't see how Bronny is benefiting from all of this. Because whenever he underperforms and this happens, he's going to be talked about. But we all knew this already. And I'm not telling LeBron how to parent. I would never do something like that, right? It's his son, do whatever the hell you want. I wouldn't go that far. But people must have known that this was going to happen. This would inevitably happen. And given the fact that he was so much praise was heaped on him, and father was saying all of these things about him, it put a lot of forget about the pressure. It put a lot of expectations on. And the fact is, Bronny already had expectations, whether his father said anything or didn't, because he's still LeBron's son. But for the fact that the father was going out there, oh, he's better than these guys on G League, he can play on the leg. This is where we now go down a slippery slope, because now people are like, well, LeBron is a basketball savant. He's saying his son is going to be good. Well, we believe him. And then the next thing that started happening was the media was promoting him everywhere. You had certain defenders come, what are we talking about the 55th pick? What was the last 55th pick you ever saw get promoted that much? People playing dumb, like I said, they don't know why Bronny's getting all of this media publicity. Even into this summer league, they were even promoting certain summer league games. Cooper Flagg, the number 1 pick in the draft versus Bronny. They know what they're doing. Bronny threw down that lob the other night. It was great to see, but he was plastered all over the internet. So the media is the one also pushing Bronny. So if you're going to push him, you're going to cause people to pay attention to him, right? That's inevitable. You're going to draw attention to him. And the attention may not always be positive. Because if he plays well, he has a highlight. Of course, people are going to go out there and celebrate and twerk it up all over the internet with honey pouring all over each other's bodies and hollering. Of course, that always happens. But what happens when he underperforms? People are also going to point that out. And I believe this is all Stephen A. Smith was saying on ESPN that day. And people try to twist it into saying, he's trying to tell LeBron he's doing this. Like, come on, knock it off, bro. We all know what he was trying to say. Stephen A. Smith went out of his way to not talk about Bronny. He literally went out of his way to not do his job and say, I'm going to cover everybody in the NBA except him. And then it reached the point where he's like, okay, enough is enough. I got to say something. Not because I'm trying to be malicious or anything. He's like, bro, I feel bad for this young man. And it turned into, oh, he tried. Like, come on, we all know what he was trying to do. He was trying to save him from this. Because no one is going to be spared. You are in the NBA. You're a professional player. We're going to talk about you. If we have no problem calling great players like Russell Westbrook trash and all of these other guys, when they play poorly, we call them out. Then why should Bronny be spared? This is the point. And people are trying to, Bronny's the only NBA player I keep hearing referred to as a kid. He's a kid. Everybody else, the NBA players, but him, he's a kid. So this was inevitably going to happen. Why the Lakers decided to do that, I don't know. Now, granted, Marcus Smart was dealing with an injury. But even given the fact that he was suffering from an injury, JJ played him for about 4 or 5 minutes and said, no, this is not going to work. So what did he end up doing? He upped Maxi Kleber's minutes. He upped Dalton Connect's minutes. He's like, no, I'd rather have these guys play out of position, have them play outside of themselves, than continue on with this. How do you think that comes off? How do you think it comes off? And Bronny ends up getting the short end of the stick. But I told y'all, y'all want to see the circus. Y'all wanted to see the circus. Well, damn it. Now we at the circus. Everybody get your clown suit on. Because we all knew that this was inevitably going to happen. And it's happening. It's a damn shame, but it's happening. And this is where we are in the game. Bronny right now is averaging what? Less than 2 points a game this season. And he's getting more opportunity. He's averaging 2. Bronny's actually playing worse this year than he did last year, which is unconscionable. He averaged more points last year per game. No, he's averaging the same, but it's actually 2 points per game. He's averaging 1 rebound and 1. So he had better numbers last year with less minutes. It's incredible. But this is what y'all wanted. Y'all wanted the circus. Now we here. When you see zebras crossing through and chimpanzees swinging across and I don't know, antelopes and all. Now we here. Let's enjoy the circus.